Okay, welcome back everyone. I'm going to get right into the stock market technical analysis. We're going to look for profitable trade ideas. I'll give you guys my thoughts on what I see in the charts. One thing I'm thinking about doing real quick, guys, is moving the daily videos to the end of the day. I am giving up-to-date market insight and additional trade ideas in the private member group, and I'm thinking about just moving the public video to the end of the day. So one, that allows kind of collective thought. At the end of the day, we're closed, so really nothing's going to change from what the analysis would be. And then two, I think it gives you, it just adds more value to those who are willing to be in the private member group. So if you want to be in there, it's $5 a month right now, and I think there's a lot of value there. So link in the description below. Finally, guys, technical analysis course. That course is affordable, put together at the request of my subscribers, and that's going to give you the basic skill set. So if you haven't taken that and you really want to learn, just learn, in more detail how to approach the markets, at least from the way that I do and the way that I teach and what I show in my videos, then check out the course. Link in the description below. There's a lot of value in there for you, and it's priced affordable. All right, so triple Qs, guys, we just hit our target as expected. Again, we take trades that we think are going, I don't take trades that I don't think are going to work out. And there we are at that 275, 275.50. It's right in here. We're basically there on the daily chart. So where do we go from here? Well, I think we're probably going to get a bounce. I do, you can see as I get down to the hourly chart here, they're trying to hold it right in this area of support. And I could see us bouncing up to we gapped down today, so I think we could probably at least fill the gap. Let me grab the right tool. We could fill the gap right there. It's about 277.75. A move up there to fill the gap would make sense. And then potentially up to this 279.50. In the short term, I don't really have a good read on where I think the markets are going to go. I think, I am thinking we're going to get a bounce here. I don't know how far it's going to run. It's a little tricky to say. So best to probably keep things relatively light, not load up on any one position, and just, take the profit as we can get it. Going back to the daily, one thing I do want to point out as of now, and this is a daily chart, so we do have to, wait till the end of the day. But yesterday, you can see right here, the candle on yesterday's daily close, that's a bearish engulfing candle. So we engulfed the previous day's entire body. Those are potential reversal candles, and it makes sense that you get that bearish engulfing candle here at the downtrend line on the daily. This is your bear market. All right, this is pretty much the bear market we've been in. And then we get a reversal bearish engulfing. So that is definitely just kind of a check mark for the bears to have that bearish engulfing. Today, gapping down. So as long as we close pretty much, below the close of yesterday, that confirms more selling. That's going to help confirm that bearish engulfing. And it's signaling a reversal. This is not just signaling, a 1 or 2 day reversal, but it's a swing trade reversal, which would tell me that, regardless of whether we get, little bounces here and there, we are set up for the next leg lower in the bear market, is what that would tell me. Now, again, we wouldn't know that until we break the lows here at 250. It's about 260. You take out those lows and make a new lower low, and obviously you're making a new leg lower in the bear market. So we don't know it until then, but we have to anticipate that. I don't want to be shorting as we're breaking 260, taking an initial position. I might add to a position, but I don't want to be establishing a new position. That's not the time to short. So just something to take note of on the daily chart. Whether you think it's the start of the next leg lower or just a pullback and maybe we're going to rally a little more. I'm not exactly sure in the short term. So for me, what I'm doing, I've lightened up on my short position, and I am, I'm looking to probably game a bounce, some sort of minor bounce, but I'm not going to be too heavy in the position because, again, I'm not that sure of the direction near term. Okay, NASDAQ futures NQ. The support level that I had was really right here at about 11,300. We came pretty close, haven't quite hit it. We came down to this 11,309. So that might be good enough. You know, again, when there's a key level, oftentimes traders will step in early. So that's pretty much close enough in my mind to call that a hit. But we could, you know, into today still dip down and hit that support level. All right. That's also that projected target that I had from that bear flag price action. We didn't really get the clean bear flag pattern, so we'll just get rid of that. But in general, that is the near-term support, 11,300. You can see if I roll out, you know, we had a form of reaction here, a little bit of reaction right through there. So it is kind of minor support. So I think it's probably good for a minor bounce. We could continue a little lower, much better support, obviously right here at 11,185, we'll call it. And that goes with the triple Qs. That's that 270 area right down here. Okay, you can see that was former resistance. Okay, and then it was support, and that's good support down there. That's the best support that we have, at least on the shorter term time frame, is right down there. So whether we get a bounce here or not, I could see us drifting down to that 270. That's where the buyers most likely will be putting up a much stronger fight. All right, the S&P 500, here's your SPY. Again, strong support here on the SPY, right about this 386.66. You can see that's definitely good support right in there, and we're basically right there. So, you know, individual trade ideas, if you're in the SPY, you know, the major indice is pretty much at support, so we could continue to bounce on some of those. If SPY is going to bounce, there's the gap obviously now to target right up here at that's sitting there at 391.43. But you know, again, SPY hasn't actually hit that target right there. It's about 387. So maybe we continue to drift down, hit that today, maybe undercut it slightly. I still like some of those individual trade ideas I pointed out this morning, especially the short ones. I think they're just initiating sell signals, so I still like those. Even though SPY's here, it doesn't mean that those can't continue to sell off. So SPY, you know, the S&P 500 is a big mix of stocks. Some sectors go up, some sectors go down, and that doesn't mean that the S&P 500 is generally going to go down. In fact, if tech is rising, and you know, the other sectors could sell off and the SPY pretty much will go nowhere, or could even rise because its tech is so heavily weighted. So okay, First Solar, talked about this one again. You know, we came down very close. If I get down to the hourly chart, there's decent support right here at about 162. We haven't quite hit it yet. They stepped in a little early, so I could, you know, it could go either way. It's, you know, you got close enough to where, you know, it would make sense to maybe take some profit down there. We could continue to roll down and actually hit that, or the seller or the buyers might have stepped in a little early and we might, you know, bid it up. I think the most we rally to is right about here, 171. To me, that looks like the area where I'd probably want to, you know, initiate another short and continue looking for more downside. I can, you know, as I stated in the video yesterday, I can make a case for a lot of downside on this one because of the big negative divergence on the daily chart. Okay, that's telling me that this, you know, this move is likely gonna, you know, when it breaks or finally starts to get into trend, we've got a lot of downside, and my target is still down here at the 78. I really think that's where we're heading. Yeah, that's kind of how I'm looking to play it. Maybe it bounces up, probably reshort it right there at 170. I did cover my short and just took some profit, and I'll look to reshort it on kickbacks into resistance. CrowdStrike. Okay, so again, I pointed this out to the private member group. I'll cover it here. On the hourly chart, you've got a very clean bullish falling wedge pattern, very just well defined wedge pattern. You also have nice clean bullish divergence here that's been building for quite a while, and that looks very bullish. Now you also have a breakout, okay, clean breakout, and it's coming in for a back test, so it's definitely objective, at least in my mind, to for a long trade here on the test of this support line. This was former resistance and it should be support. So I think we probably get a bounce somewhere around here. Now, if I look at the hourly, it could drift a little lower, maybe today or tomorrow, potentially down to an actual full back test. which is still at about 2.5% down. And that's always possible, but it is support just underneath. And what I would be looking for on this, and if this rallies, then it tells me that tech is probably going to rally too, because this is obviously a tech stock. Then what I would be looking for is, a move all the way. The target right here is 124.50. I get that target. You take the widest part of this bullish falling wedge, which is about there, and you move it there, and it's projected targets right there. So that would be my target on a back test, a rally up to that, that 124.50, and that'd be my final stop. I don't think I'd let it go much more. There is a gap to fill, so yeah, it could pop up and fill the gap. But again, most of the trade is probably going to be right there in the move up there. So I like it long. If it drifts a little lower and does the perfect back test, that's obviously the most objective area to go long. So I'm kind of holding out for that. But, I don't know. Could make sense to take a starter position and maybe just add to it on the full back test. It looks like a good long. It's a good long setup. Doesn't mean it's going to work out, but definitely a good setup. Oil, I don't see much going on in oil, so I haven't really been talking about it. We've got support on the oil futures around 76.50, and we've been kind of just chopping through, just kind of grinding around. It's consolidating, so nothing that's really speaking to me on oil. I could see lower prices, maybe down to here at 66.75. To me, that looks like a pretty decent buy zone down there. Good support right down there. Lots of reactions. So as of right now, I don't have a way I think it's going to go. So just kind of letting that do its thing. And then gold. One thing about gold. So gold burned through the negative divergence. It just did that. So, it's done it for a while. So that's why I've been talking about with gold, it's a buy the dip sector. And I missed it today, which is fine because I have some other positions, not in my trading account. But you look at Newmont here, and you see the daily, and you have this uptrend line. All right, support through here. Okay, and then today they dipped it right down there, pretty close. My trend line could be slightly off, but pretty close to support, and the buyers have been stepping in. So in general, I don't see any reason to short gold. Look at that. See that bullish momentum? There's no negative divergence on the daily chart. It was there previously, just barely, and it got burned through. So it's bullish. If I look at the hourly, the hourly had some negative divergence up here, but we've gotten that pullback now. So in my mind, I think that's probably it. We might, we could continue to kind of grind around this support level, but it's by the dip in gold as far as I can tell. So, I'll look for opportunities, good buy zones. I can't go through them all, but it does look like that's how gold is playing out for right now. So we can also look at the GDX gold mining ETF. If I go to the daily chart, I didn't have a clean trend line. I could maybe mark something like this out. It's not that clean of a chart quite yet, so we don't really have enough data on this one, so never mind on that. There is still some negative divergence on the PPO on GDX, and kind of there on the RSI. So we'll see, but with Newmont being the largest miner, probably it's the heaviest weighted one in this GDX, looking bullish. I suspect it's going to burn through this divergence and continue to look bullish. So buy the dip is how I'm approaching it. And Nat Gas, guys, I bailed on that one a couple, last week. It just wasn't working out, and just I did have a small position in BOIL. That is a leveraged ETF. So if you don't get a trending move in the commodity in that, then BOIL is going to continue to decay and it's going to go down. Now Nat Gas could be putting in a bottom. If I look at the daily chart, I just don't have enough to say that I'm confident about it. You can see here we just pretty much burned through that bullish divergence, making a new lower low in the PPO. So it's just not great. It's not the best setup. So I'm going to move on from this one for now until I find, if it looks good in the future, I'll let you guys know. But for right now, I just don't think there's much there. So And I did put out a private video for the member group a week or two ago about the Industrials XLI, and I went through some individual stocks on that. The Industrials continue to look like a decent short setup on the daily chart of XLI. We didn't quite make a higher high, but it was just close enough. I could probably call it an equal high. Clear negative divergence there on the PPO, on the RSI, on the daily chart. One thing I'd be watching for, you got this downtrend line where you have, multiple distinct reactions. So I think we're probably at least at a minimum heading down to that downtrend line and possibly going to break it. But for now, it looks like we're heading down there. When I go to EMR, this one's clearly just, collapsing basically. So all the longs that got trapped in this price action when you had negative divergence, they're all just, scrambling for, just panic selling and everything. Now it's at the 200 days, so I don't think it's definitely not the time to short. You're probably going to get a bounce here. I would think you probably get a bounce up to minimum bounce, I believe, would be about 91.50, potentially bounce up to this 93.40 area. Those would be the two bounce targets, and then most likely down she goes. So I'm not looking to play the bounce on this. What I'm more interested is to short it on a bounce. So I'm looking to sell the rip. If it wants to rally up here, I'll look to take a short position. All right, that is pretty much all I have for today, guys. So drop me a thumbs up. Check out the course if you haven't done so. There's tons of value in there. I think it, could really benefit your skill set. It's not a get-rich-quick day trading course or anything like that. And then join us in the private member group if you're interested in getting additional ideas, help support the channel. And it's $5 a month. So in general, $60 a year. And hopefully I'm putting you guys on some winners. I know there's definitely been some winners in there for sure that should have easily paid for most of the people's membership, if not for this year, but many years. So check that out, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye.